Well, thank you very much for the introduction, and good afternoon to everyone, and welcome to the final of the Edge Challenge. I'm Alice Barnard, and I head up the Peter Jones Foundation. I started in the March of 2012, and I joined Peter to assist him in unleashing the potential of aspiring entrepreneurs, to excite a new generation of entrepreneurs, and to celebrate entrepreneurship. We believe that through the Foundation's initiatives, like the Peter Jones Enterprise Academy and Tycoon in Schools, that we will create a culture of enterprise in Britain. Right now, almost 1 million young people are out of work, and yet businesses of all sizes report huge difficulties in recruiting young people with the skills they need to help them grow. There is an enormous gap between the skills that young people can offer and the skills and abilities that employers need. Whether it's a basic lack of people skills and confidence, or marketing knowledge, or financial understanding, it's obvious that thousands of young people lack the fundamental employability skills required by businesses today. Clearly there is a problem. The old way is not working, so we need to break the mold and do something different. And this is where enterprise education comes in. Enterprise education is essentially an art of equipping young people with the business and entrepreneurial skills to enable them to succeed in the real world of work. It is a crucial piece of the jigsaw, which can go a long way to address the current mismatch between young people's abilities and employers' needs. Of course, none of us know what employers or employment will look like in 5 years, let alone in 10 or 20 years' time. Factors such as the advances in technology, increasing population size, and people working longer into retirement age mean that the nature of employment and the workplace is changing. And with it, the type and skills and abilities that are required are changing so fast, it would be a brave person who could predict the future. But what we do know is that young people will need increasing confidence and flexibility in order to meet these challenges. It is our belief that the Peter Jones Foundation, that the best way forward is to equip young people with the entrepreneurial skills and mindsets so that they can apply the tools and insights of an entrepreneur to every aspect of their working life. Thinking like an entrepreneur can give a young person not only the essential business tools they need to progress, but it can also give them the self-confidence and self-belief they need to succeed in a successful marketplace. We are convinced that the best way of giving young people these skills is through the concept of learning by doing, so that the real learning is done in real business situations, and so becomes entirely intuitive. Taking place for the first time this year is the Edge Challenge. It's a competition to find a young person, an up-and-coming entrepreneur with a brilliant business idea, giving students the chance to flex their entrepreneurial muscles in a real commercial environment. Here at the Peter Jones Enterprise Academy, which is run by our foundation, we are absolutely delighted to have delivered the challenge in partnership with the Edge Foundation and the Gazelle Colleges Group, who are both thoroughly aligned with our mission to revolutionise the British education system in favour of a landscape in which entrepreneurship and vocational qualifications are celebrated, supported and developed. And we are thrilled to be working alongside them. Today, the final of the competition will be taking place, where the top 3 applicants will be showcasing their business ideas at today's skills show. We have been bowled over by the high calibre of students taking part in the competition, and I cannot wait to hear from them all a little later on. And I'm particularly proud as they're all Peter Jones Enterprise Academy students, and I'd like to congratulate them all on getting this far. The prize of £3,000 for the winner, £1,250 for second place and £750 for third place will provide our winners with an amazing and really well-deserved opportunity to develop or launch their business ideas. And I wish all the finalists the very best of luck with crossing that final hurdle. We believe that all young people should be given the chance to realise their dreams, and we are determined to ensure that our talented youngsters and future entrepreneurs have the necessary skills and mindset they need to set up their own company or to be entrepreneurs. The Academy is absolutely crucial to the Foundation's overall mission. In 2009, Peter Jones CBE set up the Academy, where he endeavoured to foster a society of entrepreneurially minded individuals who contribute a measurable positive impact to the British economy and firmly establish the UK as a global leader in entrepreneurship. Founded on a philosophy of learning by doing, our nationwide academy network of around 30 colleges nationwide specialises in courses of enterprise and entrepreneurship to educate and inspire young people in order that they have the confidence and skills to approach life with a can-do attitude. At the end of each year, Peter Jones CBE commends the hard work of all Academy students at a graduation ceremony, where he also announces the Young Entrepreneur of the Year. This year's winner, Harry Day, is with us here at the Skills Show. Harry's business has gone from strength to strength, and he's undertaking an extensive mentoring package, which was organised for him by us at the Foundation. Other Young Entrepreneur of the Year finalists are also here. Jonathan Buswell is in the Have a Go area, where he is supporting visitors to learn about the skills of pitching and interviewing confidently, something which is vital when becoming an entrepreneur. Another one of our National Entrepreneur of the Year finalists is also an Edge Challenge finalist. Jacob Knowles it's really exciting to see you again today, and congratulations on getting this far. And alongside him, Vikesh Mistry and, of course, Katie Buckingham. Best of luck to you all. It is crucial that we congratulate their achievements in getting to today's final, and that is why we believe that initiatives like the Edge Challenge are so integral to the motivation of our young people. At the Foundation, we're extremely lucky to have His Royal Highness, the Duke of York, as our patron. This patronage is hugely valuable to the Foundation and the Academy, as he visits our academies and schools throughout the country, and he offers his insight and support to our students. At the Academy, we work incredibly hard to ensure that our students are constantly inspired and given a sense of self-belief so that they have the confidence to pursue their dreams. With that in mind, the Academy Network is heavily involved with a host of guest speakers who deliver masterclasses across the network. To date, these have included Nick Jenkins of moonpig.com, Paul Linley of Ella's Kitchen, and David Gold, the chairman of West Ham United, as well as his daughters, Jacqueline and Vanessa, who own Ann Summers. These are just a few of the inspirational people who've taken the time out of their very busy diaries to meet and support our students. And believe me, these masterclasses really are exceptional. The Foundation's work with the Peter Jones Enterprise Academy has demonstrated that there is a real appetite for the education system in the UK to adopt an entrepreneurial mindset. The Foundation has, therefore, developed an initiative called Tycoon in Schools, which is now in its second year. This encourages school children to set up a business, apply for a loan of up to £1,000, which the Foundation provides, and compete against other young students around the country. Thousands of school children have taken part to date, and it is currently a really exciting time for the project as young people go head-to-head trading during November. The Academy and Foundation's mission to put enterprise at the heart of the UK education system is an exciting and challenging one, and we have achieved huge success to date. To be recognised by the government for the work that the Peter Jones Enterprise Academy and the Gazelle Colleges Group and the Edge Foundation is undertaking is hugely exciting. And as such, I'm thrilled that Matthew Hancock, Minister of State for Skills and Enterprise, is with us today. The Minister is responsible for skills and enterprise, where his role is shared between the Department of Business, Innovation and Skills and the Department for Education. We are particularly pleased to have the Minister here, considering his recent inclusion of enterprise within his remit. Thank you very much indeed for joining us here at the final of the Edge Challenge 2013. And everyone, please join me in welcoming Matthew Hancock to the stage.
Thank you very much, Alice. And there's not much I can add to that speech. It's rare that I get to the end of a speech and say I agree with every word of it. But this link between education and enterprise is so important. And it's something that I know from personal experience that the Peter Jones Enterprise Academies does so well. Understanding that enterprise is something that can be taught and that you can learn in a structured way is crucial to making sure that we get more of it and that we push it throughout our education system. And of course, one of the great things about enterprise and entrepreneurs is they're generally very keen to succeed and have high ambitions. And so a competition for entrepreneurs must be one of the most competitive types of competitions, because it's a competition for people who are at heart eager to be competitive ultimately. So I can't wait to find out who's won the prize. Vikesh, Jacob and Katie, good luck in your final presentations. Good luck in seeing if you can seal the deal. But I'm just here to mark the fact that the work of the Edge Foundation, of Gazelle Colleges and of the Peter Jones Enterprise Academy is something that I hugely value and we across the government hugely value. It's very important for the future of our country, and I'm delighted to be here to celebrate it and to celebrate some great entrepreneurs who are going to compete very effectively with everything else that's going on at the skills show this afternoon. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody, and now we get on to, I think, something of the main business of the day. And thank you, Minister, particularly for that really reinforcement of the fact that in this show, for the first time, I think, in the world, we have got an enterprise zone, and we have got enterprise and entrepreneurship recognised in the same breath as skills that our students require. And I'd like particularly to congratulate the three colleges, Leicester, Oldham and Solihull Principal here, for creating the circumstances, Alice, that the Peter Jones students can succeed in. The Gazelle colleges are trying to bring that entrepreneurship and enterprise culture into all the students in the colleges, and very much, as the Minister said, trying to make sure that the leaders in the colleges also act entrepreneurial and know how to do so. In our colleges, we're putting as much investment into the development of leadership and staff and teachers as we are into students. And that's because when you have students inspired by teachers who actually understand and can truly practice entrepreneurship with them, it means that we can reach hundreds of thousands of students. I congratulate particularly the Peter Jones Enterprise Academy today for the real strength they bring to colleges, I think. And actually, I think in all our colleges, certainly mine and North Hertfordshire College, the students stand out from Peter Jones Enterprise Academy because they're highly focused on business startup and that work. And I've always been very, very proud to have a Peter Jones Academy both in North Hertfordshire College and so many within the Gazelle Colleges group itself. I'm particularly grateful to Edge for actually taking, and to Lord Baker and others, for actually moving to see enterprise and entrepreneurship as an important integral part of skills. So it's with great pleasure that I begin this event with celebrating three wonderful young people and their efforts, because actually it's the practice of enterprise and entrepreneurship that teaches you so much. And I know I met Jacob before in a previous competition, and I think that without practicing the business of creating your own business, without making mistakes, without sometimes failing, you can't ultimately become, I think, a really significant entrepreneur. And at Gazelle, we're not looking necessarily for entrepreneurs who are, although it would be great, Richard Branson's or Theo's or whatever it is. They're terrific. We're just looking to have as many of you young people as we possibly can, able to create your own value, able to be in colleges so that you can actually create your own earnings and somehow actually become more self-sufficient in a tough economic climate. And that's what entrepreneurship to me is all about. I'm not going to take any further time on Gazelle. What I'm going to do is move straight into the business that we're here to do, which is to actually put these three young people through their paces, really test their abilities and put them under pressure, because that's what entrepreneurs actually thrive on and do. And the first a finalist, they're all finalists here, The first finalist we have today is Katie Buckingham. And Katie, actually, I think, is one of those entrepreneurs who's actually what I would call looking specifically also at the social and personal benefits. Katie has provided is looking to provide training and consultancy to businesses, local authorities, and youth organisations. She wants to increase their understanding of mental health so that issues can be identified and support can be given to people much earlier. She wants to encourage more people to talk about their own mental health, and she wants to find a way to actually bring that about by virtue of what she's going to tell us about today. So this is something that could make a huge difference to a lot of people. I certainly need something doing with my mental health, so that would be great. Katie, over to you.
Hello? Yeah? Okay. Can everyone hear me? Okay. Okay, so I run a company. It's a social enterprise and it's called Altruist Enterprises. And it's a community interest company. And I'm going to talk about the services that we provide and why I think that they're so valuable. Okay, so did you know that 1 in 4 people suffer with a mental health issue at some point in their lives? That stress is the most common cause of long-term sickness absence in the workplace, and that mental health is costing UK businesses £30 billion every year. So what can be done? Altruist Enterprises provides mental health training and wellbeing consultancy to businesses, educational institutions, local authorities and charities. So to break down these services further, to businesses, we provide a course which is accredited by the Royal Society for Public Health, and it's called Mental Health First Aid. There's 2 versions of this course. The full Mental Health First Aid, where attendees become accredited mental health first aiders in their workplace, and the Mental Health First Aid Light, which is more of an introduction. And I'm also developing a new course which looks at emotional resilience and stress triggers in the workplace to kind of create more of a comfortable environment for employees. And we also provide consultancy, so how to support staff who may be suffering from stress or other emotional difficulties. Okay, so don't let this scare you, but this is a case study just to put it into perspective, and it's loosely based on a real business. Okay, so this business has 250 members of staff in 10 offices. Now, according to the mental health charity Mine, they undertook a study, 19% of employees in any given year call in sick due to stress or mental health issues. So for this business, that would be around 47 of their employees. And then another study undertaken by the Centre of Mental Health shows that £1,206 per employee is spent on mental illness. And I must stress as well that the 19% that do call in sick, 93% of them lie about the real reason. So they may put it down to sickness. They don't actually say that it's mental health issues. So if we were to times the cost per person by the 47, then that would come to around 57,000. So we don't aim to fully eradicate the whole cost. We aim to reduce them by at least 30%, being around 17,000. So to look at the cost of our training, it's £175 per person. And if we were to train 2 from each office to become accredited mental health first aiders, that would be £3,500. So if you look at the saving that they're making in just 1 year, then that would be around 13,000. And once they've got the training and the qualification, that's for life then. So then we'll be saving them money year on year on mental health. Okay, so to talk about a different side of my business, I also run workshops with young people. I've put some case studies around which are from my resource pack. And I created this when I was 17, so a couple of years ago. It's now used in GPs' practices, schools, colleges, youth groups, and charities, mental health services. And this includes different activities for young people, different case studies, posters and videos. And actually, when I've delivered this course, people actually come forward at the end of the session saying, "Oh, I didn't realise other people suffered or had these feelings." So that's been successful. I also deliver mental health consultancy, so I help teachers, those in contact with young people, on how to best help people with mental health issues. Again, wellbeing awareness for the teachers. And autism consultancy, which is a new product that I've developed. Okay, so moving on. And local authorities. I've worked closely for a couple of years now with Solihull Council, and at the moment I'm undertaking a project which assesses the transitions process between child mental health services and adult mental health services, and I've done this through consulting with service users and also parents, and then I'll make recommendations. I'm currently writing my report to the council on how to best improve services, and we'll redesign them, and again training for staff. And to charities, it's just a mixture of all these services. At some point, because I am to expand across the country, I'd like to do more of a trainer. So I am to train people to be able to deliver my course, so then I can focus more on the bookings and the marketing, etc. Okay, so why did I start Altruist Enterprises? I have personal experience of mental illness, and people I found are too scared to talk about mental health, and there's a lot of stigma, and it was stopping particularly young people from getting help when they need it. So what I wanted to do was to increase awareness and reduce stigma so that more people can talk about their own mental health, seek help earlier before they get to crisis point, and also with employers. So a lot of people who may be suffering from mental illness in the workplace have to take long-term sickness absence, and really what they want to do is work, but they can't because their mental illness has got to a point where they're hospitalised or anything like that. So that's Altruist. Any questions?
Well, thank you, Katie. Wasn't that brilliant to go through all that? And she got through those special announcements that we specially made to keep throwing her off, but she got through them very well. I mean, what a great presentation. What a great idea. You must be very proud, Brenda, I'm sure, and Alison and everyone of that. Has anyone got any questions for Katie? There must be one or two out there. Alice?
You touched on a little bit about why this was important to you, but what at such a young age motivated you to think that you could make such a big change, such a big impact on your own?
Well, like I said, 1 in 4 people suffer with a mental health issue, and there's so much stigma surrounding it, and no one talks about it, and it just really annoys me because, like I said, I've got personal experience, but people also in my family and you know, my friends, I've seen people that can't get help, and they get to a point where they have to go, you know, to hospital, and it's not needed, because if they would have told someone, like if they've broken a leg, then they'd tell someone, or if they had a stomachache, they'd tell someone. But with mental health, it doesn't seem to be the case. So I've worked with charities to kind of support my business as well, so like Mind and Time to Change, and I just want, you know, to raise awareness and help people get help earlier, basically.
Katie, can we have a big round of applause? What an excellent presentation. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks.
And our next finalist I'd like to invite is Vikesh Mistry, with quite a different approach, and one that Vikesh has been developing a search engine and app to ensure that we get the right driving instructor, and actually to help us to actually find one that will really work for us. And I think, Vikesh, having actually been through a couple of times before I got my test, but also having known a lady who did it at least 17 times, I think actually this particular app about trying to find the right fit, a female, a male, a certain age, a certain thing, is a very interesting idea, and I very much look forward to hearing how it's all going to work. Vikesh, welcome.
Hello, my name is Vikesh Mistry, and I'm the founder of Instructor Engine, an online business. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm 21, and I'm from Leicester. I graduated from the Peter Jones Enterprise Academy in July 2013, and I also have a very keen interest in sports and business. So you're probably thinking, what is Instructor Engine? Instructor Engine is a search engine for driving instructors. Anyone can use it, and it's totally free to use. It's used as a tool to help people find driving instructors. And you're probably thinking, so right, how do we do that? Well, we've created a dynamic search filter system, which enables the user to find a driving instructor depending on their personal preference through the filters that we have. So currently, people find driving instructors in many different ways. The most popular way being through family and friends' recommendation. But this is often subjective. Just because the needs and preference of one person and they find a great instructor is great for them, it might not be the same needs and same requirements for a different person. So we believe Instructor Engine is the alternative. So you may be thinking, okay, so if I was to use Instructor Engine, it might be really long and tedious. I might have to put in umpteen's amount of information just to be able to search. Well, Instructor Engine is really different. It's clean cut and it's efficient. Simple as 1, 2, 3. You enter your postcode, you select your filters, and there you have it, your results. Very quick and very easy. And once you have your results, you have the numbers and the email addresses of the driving instructors, so you can book a lesson as simple as that. So who's Instructor Engine targeted to? Well, our target market is 17 to 19-year-olds. This is because once you turn 17, you can get a provisional license in the UK and start to take driving lessons. Our secondary market is anybody that wants to learn to drive. The service is open to all, and it's free of charge to use. So, yes, you've understood Instructor Engine is a business. So where's the money going to come from? Well, that'll be from our driving instructors. They will be the paying customers. And in the UK, registered with the Driving Standards Agency, there's over 44,000 driving instructors in the UK market. Now, Instructor Engine will offer a 2-tier subscription package, both lasting the duration of 1 year. A standard package, priced at £99, and a premium package, priced at £349. So, with regards to my research, what do driving instructors say? Well, overall, the response has been extremely positive. The most important thing that I was looking at is how they currently spend money on advertising their driving school and how much they spend. Well, on average, per annum, it's around £450 that the driving instructors spend to promote their school. And what interested me the most was they were using booklets and leaflets. And this was somewhat interesting to me, purely for the fact that the demographic that they're targeting is predominantly online. So why wouldn't they go online to reach the customer? So how do I justify charging £349 to a driving instructor to be subscribed on Instructor Engine? Well, if we take the average number of lessons in the UK, which is 40, and multiply this by the average 1-hour lesson in the UK of £22, this gives the driving instructor a revenue generation of £880. Now, if you offset this against the price of a premium package, this would leave the driving instructor with a gross profit of just over £530. And this scenario is based on one driving instructor receiving only one student across a 12-month period. Now, I'm sure you can imagine, if a driving instructor was to get 10 students across that full year, a return on investment of just over £5,000 would be absolutely great for any driving instructor. So, with regards to our marketing, our main objective with regards to our users is to raise awareness, let them know about Instructor Engine, so when it comes to finding a driving instructor, they think Instructor Engine. With regards to our driving instructors, we quite simply want them to sign up to Instructor Engine, because that's where we will make our money. And in the future, we aim to develop an Instructor Engine app to make the process even easier and even simpler for the user. So, with regards to our competitors, do I have any? Yes, I do. And 3 of them are listed here at the top. But through my research, there's a couple of things that comes to light. Blank fields. So this is quite simply when someone searches for a driving instructor and some of the information is missing. I don't know about you, but I would never buy a product or a service without knowing the price of the product or service that I'm buying beforehand. The second thing is unfulfilled searches. This quite simply, for example, is apparent on Search to Drive. You go onto the website, you type in your postcode, you select your filters, hey presto, yes, you've guessed it, no results. I'm sure you'd agree that's a waste of time, and it probably leaves you feeling slightly annoyed. And the third one is limited advertising. Although these companies are online, they have very little presence in targeting directly to students and colleges, which is what Instructor Engine will aim to do through our marketing. Another thing that we can do at Instructor Engine to change and address some of these points is have mandatory fields. So when the driving instructor signs up, they do have to input information because it is mandatory. Otherwise, they won't be able to move to the next section. This means when the user uses our Instructor Engine service, they'll be able to make a conscious decision as all the information is present in front of them. We'd also have guaranteed search results. So you'll never be left with a search button, waiting a couple of seconds and go, oh, great, well, that was great, wasn't it? That was useful. Instructor Engine will eliminate that, saving you time. So for year one, we want to focus on Leicestershire as our test market and gradually expand and grow the business. So in Leicestershire, we've identified over 500 driving instructors in the market. If you look at Search to Drive, even though they claim to have 6,000 driving instructors across the UK, they only have 15 signed up to their service in Leicestershire. We will also be marketing to the 32 educational environments in Leicestershire. That's excluding universities. So if we can get to the user, they can start to use Instructor Engine and make finding a driving instructor that much easier. So a quick breakdown in numbers of year one. With regards to our sales targets, we want 25 premium packages sold and 150 standard. Now here is my turnover, expenditure, and net profit. Now it might not seem a lot, but this is a business that I want to grow and expand. Net profit as a percentage of turnover is about 67%. So where am I at currently? Well, we've developed the website about 70% of the way through, and I've invested over £1,000 of my own savings. That's come through sacrificing a holiday that I was wanted to go on. We aim to launch the business in Q2 of 2014, and that's the main target short term. So, as I mentioned the website, this is where we've got to so far. This is the home page, the main landing page, where the user would type in their postcode to go forward through the filter pages. In the top right-hand corner is where the driving instructor would log in. And this would be the login page for the instructor, where they'd use the username and password, or if they didn't have an account, they could quite simply create an account. To do that, they would input the personal details and driving school details. That would then bring them to a review page, and they would accept the terms and conditions and click Next. And once they've completed the sections, the fields are highlighted green. And once you're happy with the review and it's completed, then you quite simply, as a driving instructor, choose the package you'd like to purchase. Now, that's a bit different. There's two ways in which you can actually purchase the packages, either by PayPal or by direct debit. And the features of each package are listed here. So, commercial viability. Is it commercially viable? Well, if you ask me, I'm biased, so I'm going to say yes. But there's over 30 million cars on the road today. How did they get there? Well, there's people that have driving licenses. There's probably people from them, 30 million, that have had driving lessons and a driving instructor. So I think there's definitely a market out there. And as I've touched on previously, geographical scalability is the key to this business. We start in Leicestershire, year one. Year two, the rest of the East Midlands. Year three, capturing the whole of the West Midlands market. Year four, north of the UK. And year five, south. And where's the money going to come from to actually make that dream a reality with regards to operations? Well, that would be in our growth and expansion plan. And that would be through reinvesting our profits year on year. So this business, I believe, is quite simple economics. Demand from the driving students who want to learn to drive, and the supply coming from driving instructors wanting to teach. And Instructor Engine sits right in the middle, satisfying the needs of both markets. So our main future targets, by the end of year 3, we look to have turnover just shy of £100,000. We'd also aim to establish a head office in Leicestershire and recruit staff to ensure our operations run smoothly. Some may say our year 5 turnover is quite ambitious, but in real terms, if we were to capture a quarter of the market, which is 11,000 driving instructors, by year 5, on our standard package of £99, which is our cheapest package, we would achieve our main long-term goal, which is a turnover of over £1 million. And finally, I'd like to leave you with our mission statement, to change the way people choose driving instructors. Thank you very much for your time.
Wow. Thank you, Vikesh. Well, again, a terrific presentation with a lot of fact and an awful lot of thought and a big business proposition. I've got certainly a few thoughts, but let me hand it over to question and answer. Anyone like to ask Vikesh a question about his dream and his idea? Please, Jane.
Thanks, Vincent. Vikesh, I was just wondering, where did you get the idea for this search engine from?
Well, quite simply, it came from my own experience. The driving instructor that I had was a family friend, and quite simply, he wasn't great. He was an old school guy. He says lessons are only like £15 for the first 5, and then it's £18 thereafter. So I thought, I could probably pass in about 20, 25. 48 lessons later, I was still learning with him. Fair enough, I passed first time, but the idea as a whole came from my personal experience, because I have friends who don't have English as a first language, and they find it difficult to find driving instructors that teach whatever language that is. I also have friends who are disabled, and for them to find driving instructors, it's a case of going onto Google, finding instructors and ringing them all up, seeing what type of disabled accommodation the car has. Rather than that long and tedious process, I thought, instructor engine, why not?
Any other questions out there? Here we have one.
Do you think you'll be able to get some of the big driving instructor companies like BSM and some of the other well-known ones on board of the search engine as well? Is that in your future plan?
Yeah, that's most definitely, as we're growing the company, we'll look to, once we've established instructor engines as a brand in the Leicestershire market, and we've got a proven model, we'll then go to BSM and the likes of AA and Red Driving School and say, look, we've trialed this model in Leicestershire, it's been successful, and these are our figures. Now, obviously, you're a franchise, you want more driving instructors because they teach more money and you make more money. And we'll hopefully look to have talks and grow the business that way as well. So there's 2 ways. There's the independent instructor and there's the franchise instructor. So yeah, most definitely.
Any other questions out there for Vikesh? Here, we have another one here.
Hello, I was just wondering how you plan to cycle out, say for instance, do you plan to implement like a rating system for driving instructors, so people can give reviews and how they teach? And is there a way to combat spam? Kind of like I know that spam's a really viable point of the internet right now. You know, people deliberately sending messages to these instructors with the intent of wasting time.
Great question. Thank you. On the instructor engine, we'll actually have a ratings and review system, so people can post ratings and reviews. And every time a comment is posted, it will be moderated just to make sure there's no spam or it's not a cousin or a son or a daughter of a driving instructor that's put in great instructor, five times a day, which I'm sure is, it's not useful to anyone. You want to give concise, up-to-date, real information to the user. So yeah, we'll definitely have a system in place to address that, to make sure that the details are relevant and are up-to-date and are real.
And just one from me, Vikesh. Looking at your figures, I was very interested that you seem to think you can deliver the first year of this business with only about 32% cost against your total turnover. If I remember the figures rightly, you were looking at 23,000 with a £7,000 cost structure and a £15,000 net profit. It struck me as actually your expenditure figures on that model looked a bit light to me. How confident are you that you can actually turn around a 62% profit margin on that degree of turnover?
I'm fairly confident as long as I have the operations in place. Obviously recruiting the right amount of students and personnel on a commission basis to generate the sales. That's going to mean that we're going to be able to keep turning over a significant amount of money to keep the business going. For year 1, I've said I won't take a wage from the business. I'm living at home with my parents at the minute, so it's about everything being efficient and cost minimization. The less money that I can spend and the more money I can save, well, the more better for the business in the future, and that's where my vision is.
Great. So some of that expenditure you're telling me is hidden because you don't need to add it in year one, and that explains why the figures are as good as they are. Thanks. That's really helpful. Can we give Vikesh a big hand there for an excellent presentation? Thank you very much. And our third presentation today, again, quite a contrast. We have Jacob Knowles, and he's the sailor in our midst, I think. This is in a different marketplace. We've had social benefit. We've had an app around driving, and now we're going to look at that higher end market, I think, which is a kit for those who actually sail. And if I understand it rightly, Jacob, making it much simpler for them. So I very much look forward to your presentation.
Right, good afternoon. Can you all hear me all right? Is everything all right? Right, so my name's Jacob Knowles. I'm the founder of a company called JK Sail. So a bit about me. I was a finalist of the Peter Jones Enterprise Academy National Entrepreneur of the Year last year. That was selected by Peter Jones himself, Oldham College Student of the Year, and I've been part of the Sea Cadets for 7 years. So that's where all the experience comes from, and that's where my business idea originates from. So introducing JK Sail, founded in 2013 by myself, we're the first sailing clothing and accessories company to offer a package of products to help you get into sailing, making buying more convenient. The overall aim of our company is to increase participation in sailing on the back of the Olympics 2 years ago. It was a hugely successful Olympics for Team GB, and that's what we're really working on, really utilising that really. So as I said, we're devoted to providing a really cost-effective product. So it's aimed at new sailors trying to get into the sport itself. So we're bringing the cost of really good products down and ensure this happens without losing too much quality. We're using the same supplier as the Navy, the US Marines, and oil rigs. So it's really high quality goods. As I said before, we're working close with the Sea Cadets and the LSSA originally, which is the Lancashire School of Sailing's Association, to really increase the participation overall, to really maximise our potential. So why am I doing it? As an involved sailor myself, I found that buying the products originally is really difficult to do. You're buying products from here, there and everywhere. So as I go on to later on is the competitors, Musto, Gill, Decathlon, you're buying products from all of them. And as a new sailor, you don't want that headache really of trying to find all these products that when they can all come together, and that's what we're trying to offer. So the basic idea, we're looking at offering a JK Sail starter pack to 3.1 million new water sporters. Where that number comes from is 2.9 million water sporters were around in 2012 before the Olympics. Now the RYA have worked out that this year that's going to grow to 6 million. So our target market itself, in just those figures there, is 3.1 million people. A starter pack would really just provide that solution to a basic headache that has no reason to be there. So what could the starter pack include? I mean, we're looking at the hold all, which will double up as the packaging itself, so we're not really paying out on any packaging. Towel, whistle, start sailing handbook created by the RYA, the national governing body itself. Wetsuit, gloves, sailing shoes, soft shell jacket, and we've just added on to that a new life jacket just yesterday. So we're always developing this at the same time. So how do we retain customers? Obviously we're providing a pack of good quality product, so we're not looking for an easy way, so it's not going to stop being useful after 1 year. So the way we're going to retain customers is by, as they're developing their sailing career, it then branches out into different aspects of sailing. So you'll have dinghy sailing, yachting, and they're all different areas which require different equipment. So we'll offer packages to each one of those to make buying those products just as simple as it was originally. So what's our current position? Now I'm going to be honest, this has changed a lot since I sent this pitch in. So we do have an office, which is this building here. The office is the one on the left there. That provides me with everything I need: phone line, internet, computer system, boardroom, all that stuff comes as part of the office. Our products are under development with a company called Arlen, who, as I said, provide the US Marines with their products, the Navy in the UK. So it's really good quality products. And the benefit of that is I've got complete control of the design. as there are only 3 offices further down from me, their CEO. Social media is now online, and the web page, which says it's under build there, but I've actually got the first copy over here, so if you'd like to have a look at that afterwards, just let me know and I'll let you have a look at that. This jacket here, which is a visualization there, we now have copies of it. So there's first soft shell jacket. We've had this jacket in for a few months now, but the visualization's there and it's been developed again, so that has a different technology in it to this one. That has something called a 3-layer technology, which creates a more waterproof product overall. So the price. The price, obviously, we've done a lot of research into this because that's the crucial element of how we're going to sell this. £70 is the kind of target that we're looking for. Why is that? Competitors' individual prices, to buy all the products from all the other places, £150 at its cheapest. The price of £70 we've got is based on our research. This research chart here shows that the mean score, what most people are willing to pay, is around £70.97, which puts us exactly on our target pretty much. So it just makes it more accessible for the new sailor overall. So the competitors, we've got 3 main competitors, Musto, Gill and Decathlon. Musto are a really premium brand. To buy one of their jackets similar to that, you're looking about £300 to £1,200, whereas we're selling at £30. Got Gill, similar to Musto, but they look really more specialised. So they're the elite sailors. You've got people like Ben Ainsley are more likely to buy their products, but we're not targeting those kind of people. Decathlon, they're low-cost goods. However, they're not specialised to sailing itself. It's an overall water sports company, so the jackets aren't overly useful in sailing itself. They'll provide you with waterproof goods, but then you buy another jackets on top to create the same quality that we're offering. So who are we? Where do we fit into this? Mid-table quality, so we're not offering really ridiculously expensive £1,200 jackets, but we're not selling rubbish jackets that are going to last you 6 months. We're looking to sell these cost effectively, as I said, and 86.1% people that we potentially asked, potential customers, would be interested in buying the pack. So what's our marketing? The trailer sales. Really brief for that on there, but it's a massive promotional campaign that we're planning at the moment on the website. So this is working with sailing clubs, the sport as itself, to create a win-win-win situation. We're promoting sailing hubs around the country. We're promoting ourselves, increasing web traffic into the website, looking for potential opportunities to upsell, and the sport as a whole has the potential of increasing participation. Social media, last time I pitched was 18,000 people we reached, now it's 49,188. So the research itself, sales plan. The research behind our sales plan is that 62% of people like to buy in store. So for that reason, we looked at talking to people like Go Outdoors, Winfields, that I don't know if you know because it's a really northern company, but those are the kind of retail, and we've been offered pitches for the start of next year. 54% of people like to buy online. That's a large part of what we're offering. So we're going to have an e-commerce base also launching in the early of 2014. And then 12% from sailing centres. Although that's not a big percentage, it still is a lot of market that we can potentially reach by advertising in sailing clubs as opposed to selling. So we don't enjoy the extra cost of selling in the sailing clubs, but we can still attract that 12%. The financial objectives, we're looking in the 5th year to turn over £100,000. It's a big number for now, however, through growth, it seems really reachable, and as I'll show you on the next slide, it really is potentially reachable. Looking in the 2nd year to increase our turnover 10,950 to 15,500, and then obviously the introduction of the trailer sales campaign next year is going to boost that. So the financial projections, as I said, 10,950 in the first year, which leaves us with a net profit of 4,610, and that grows to 8,250 in the 2nd year and 19,500 in the 3rd year. That's based on average spends of £30, 45 and 55. Basically, that's due to us introducing new products of higher quality, which just increases our average spend per customer, and your gross profit margin and net profit margin are displayed there. So break even, at the moment we're breaking even at 36 units. We don't have many fixed costs itself, so the break even point is relatively low. £500, it's 36 units, quite reachable. However, the funding, the way we're going to use that, the £3,000, if it was achieved, or less, the lower it is, the less impact it'll have, but it'll begin by introducing the year 3 products in year 1, which basically puts our average spend up. really early on in the time. We're looking towards increase the marketing budget, so really pushing the trailer sales and looking at stock control at that point. So barcoding, all the systems on that kind of thing. And then increase the possibility of our first employee. We're looking to employ our first member of staff in year 3. However, it would bring it forward to year 2 at least. So after funding, potentially the £3,000 funding, but the 3,000 would have a big impact, almost halves it and brings the break even all the way down to 20 units, which is 16 units less than it was before, but it's 50% less. After all this, the long-term goals of JK Sale itself are to become a market leader. So to become a market leader, we'd need 24% of the market to take that off Musto. And as I said before, the market itself is increasing by over 100% that hasn't actually been captured already. And to open a new inland training centre. So there's one in Crosby, near Liverpool, called Crosby Lakeside Adventure Centre. However, that's right next to the sea. So if you go to there, you'd get an inshore endorsement and then do coastal a couple of miles down the road. So we're looking to bring it further inland to create more opportunities and increase that participation, most likely to be around Blackburn, because that's where I come from, basically. And from that, we can create an elite team called Team JK that compete against in the Volvo sailing races and all that kind of thing. And those are people that we've brought from right at the beginning all the way to the top. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jacob. Well, I think you'll agree, a lot of vision there, a lot of forward thinking, and certainly a dream and good way to use the money if you get it, which is great. Any questions for Jacob? Yeah, great.
I was wondering if you would like to, in the future, try to branch out to other water sports in terms of that are still sailing based, like water skiing, windsurfing, and any other sailing-ish kind of ventures.
Well, one of the things we mentioned in the last picture was a rebranding. So rebranding to this Jacob Knowles tag. So would be the overall company. But what I try to do is help developing sports. So we've got JK Sail, which is then supported by 2 Team GB athletes in Lee Timothy and Ed Wright. But also we're looking at climbing. So it'll be like a JK Climb, so have separate branding for each. And that again supported by another Team GB climber called Dominic Coworth. So it's one of those, we're always looking to help out developing sports, and that's really our USP.
Other questions out there? Please.
Hi, Jacob. I just wanted to ask, a lot of businesses that you see, especially among the younger people, tend to be either service sector or perhaps app related. So you've gone for something which is manufacturing related.
Yeah.
How big a gamble did you feel that was, and what gave you the energy and drive to go ahead and do something quite different?
I mean, obviously it's a gamble because of the cost involved in producing the products, but because of my background in sailing itself and my sport I've got around me, I've always been driven to help out sailing itself. And one of the needs that I found, and when I did my research, a lot of other people found, was buying the products was the hardest part. So that created a gap itself. So then when I got the overall idea, I was thinking, right, it's going to cost me more than I expect. But when I moved into the office and had this idea implanted, the fact that 3 doors down, there was a supplier who's willing to help me out because we're in the same kind of community, that also supplies the Marines and US Marines and the Navy, that just created more ambition for me. So whereas it started off being I'd help out lots of people in Lancashire, it grew and grew and grew, and now it's an idea that I'm hoping to take national.
That's terrific. Any other questions out there for Jacob? Well, colleagues, oh sorry, Jane, you wanted to say something.
Jacob, I was just wondering, you've got a retail business, but you've also got an information business at the same time.
Yeah.
How do you see those two sort of working alongside each other?
It's mainly this trailer sales brings it all together. So we've got the retail side in the products itself, but also promoting the sailing centres around the world, well, around the country. So by providing this, it's not a directory of the trailer sales, but it's a personal opinion on each club. So it's what that offers to people, what can it offer? Each individual one will have a different specialism. So there's a massive campaign called Sailability, which is to do with disabled people being able to sail. So suggest somebody searches on the trailer sales thing for somewhere that offers sailability, we can then offer sailability products on the side. So we can bring it together by upselling. So we're still helping them out in helping them find where they want to be, whether they're inshore or offshore. but at the same time we can still harbour those products to upsell them on the side of the webpage.
Another one over here.
Hello. I wanted to ask you, where will the products be manufactured and how will you ensure consistency of quality?
Yeah, this question's asked a lot. The company that I'm currently working with, called Ireland, has factories in Taiwan, Poland, and the UK. So I specifically asked for them to be made UK, purely because that's where all my ambitions are around. That's what I'm trying to support. So as far as manufacturing is concerned, I can really focus on the UK. But the fact of the matter is, he's 3 doors down. So when my products come in, I can walk over there, check them myself. They've already supplied some of the biggest organisations in the world in the US Marines, the oil rigs. They supply products that are up to £1,200. We never buy a big order without testing the products ourselves out. So overall, it's really quite simple for us to go around and ensure the products are still at the highest quality that I need.
Thank you very much, Jacob. Can we give him a round of applause? Colleagues, that was a fabulous afternoon, I think. I hope, Jane, you would agree, a testimony to the Edge Challenge. This first challenge producing quality of this type. Alice, particularly with 3 Peter Jones students, I'm sure Peter would be very, very proud to see them come through in this way. I think that, as a testimony to the as I said at the beginning, the value of having the academy inside our colleges, and indeed to the 3 colleges that have nurtured and supported that, congratulations as well. Now, as you might imagine, there's a lot to think about with those 3 presentations. We had some very different presentations and very different approaches. And not surprisingly, the judges want a bit more time to reflect on those 3 presentations, because there was a lot of structure, a lot of thought, and of course some great ideas. So for that reason, we're going to come back here at around about 4:10 when Theo will present the prizes to the winning candidates. But we want to give the judges 20-25 minutes, I understand, Jane, to go through those again. Thank you to our 3 finalists. I'd love to see you back in about 30 minutes' time for the announcement of the winner. Thank you very much.